Hey, what's going on? Ryan here on July 4th weekend, and we're talking my favorite top 25 bands, rock bands from America, rock and roll or rock. I left out like Buddy Holly and the Crickets and Elvis's early band and James Brown, some of the early stuff. The Beach Boys, are they in my honorable mention? These are my favorite American rock bands. And we are going to come in at 25 with the Byrds. Formed in 1964, David Crosby, Chris Hillman, Roger McGuinn, Gene Clark, and Michael Clark on drums. Gene Clark's from Missouri, underrated musician. Check out some of his stuff. 8 Miles High, Mr. Tambourine Man, the Sweetheart from the Rodeo album with Graham Parsons. Just an amazing band that had so many different incarnations. Clarence White's guitar playing. Coming in at 24, and this was a late entry. I pulled somebody out of 24 and put REO Speedwagon, yes, Champaign, Illinois, and Chicago-based REO Speedwagon, Kevin Cronin, Riding the Storm Out, Golden Country. You can tune a piano, but you can't tune a fish. Just amazing stuff. Gary Rithratch's tone on his guitar, just one of my favorite Les Paul players of all time. Coming in at 23, Jefferson Airplane / Jefferson Starship. We're not talking about You Built This City. We're talking about After Bathing at Baxter's. We're talking about Red Octopus. We're talking about Miracles. We're talking about Jane. We're talking about White Rabbit, Jorma Kaukonen, Jack Cassidy, Grace Slick. She's so hot. And I love you, Grace, if you're watching this video. I doubt you are. Marty Ballin's voice, his ability to sing. He's the guy that sings Miracles. Incredible. Coming in at 22, double twos. Cheap Trick, live at Budokan. Still to this day, one of the best live bands to see. Just tight, gritty, great vocals by Robin. Just a fun band. Check out those guys from Rockford, Illinois. Cheap Trick. Coming in at 21, a band as they get older, I'm loving, and they're going to move up my lists. When I do this list when I'm 100, who knows where they're going to be? Little Feat, Lowell George songwriting, Easy to Slip. It's so easy to slip. It's so easy to fall. Willin', Waiting for Columbus, Dixie Chicken, Roll Me Easy. God, it's so good. His phrasing, his ability. Even when he died, after he died in 78, the band continued on after about a 10-year break, and they're still kicking it out to today. Check them out with Leftover Salmon this summer. CCR's at 20. Creedence Clearwater Revival. John Fogerty, his brother, Tom. Just so many hits. In 1969, they did 3 studio albums that are chock full of Green River, Born in the Bayou, Proud Mary, Have You Ever Seen the Rain? Have you ever seen the rain? Coming down on a sunny day. I hope it doesn't rain tonight because I'm going camping. I don't want to be wet down there by the river. Coming in at 19, yes, ahead of CCR. Wilco, Jeff Tweedy led band, Sky Blue Sky album, Yankee Foxtrot Zulu album, the Wilco album, Impossible Germany, the stuff with Jay Bennett is amazing. Rest in peace, Jay. Tweedy here locally from Belleville, Illinois. And coming in at 18, a band with much tragedy and an amazing dual guitar led band. Leonard Skinner, just Freebird, Simple Man, Give Me 3 Steps. Their last album with Gaines, who tragically passed away with his sister Cassie, along with Ronnie Van Zant in 1977. You know, really, we're talking here for me, the Ronnie Van Zant era. I don't know much about what they did afterwards, other than make people happy live, continue to go rock people's worlds. Leonard Skinner, you're coming in at 18. Widespread Panic comes in at 17. I'm a huge Widespread Panic fan. I've seen them many times, starting in 1992. And those first 3 albums, the debut, Space Wrangler. The second album, self-titled, Every Day. I love the Blue Indian off of Until the Medicine Takes. God, it's so good. Bell's voice, just so good. Mikey Hauser. Now they got Jimmy Herring. Checked out Dave Schools on bass. What a band. Domingo Ortiz on congas. Okay. Guns N' Roses is coming in at 16. GNR, yes. Yes, I like my GNR. No, they didn't have a lot of output, but Appetite for Destruction is an untouchable heavy rock album. Lies was a great little EP acoustic thing that we all loved back in the day. I was like 16 when this band came out. 15, 16, perfect age for that band. The Use Your Illusions were great. They're a great live band. Axl is one of the great singers of all time. You can make fun of him if you want to about his voice or whatever. He's 63 years old and he's belting out songs that are meant for 22-year-olds. Slash, Guitar God, Richard Fortus now in the band from St. Louis. Incredible. Coming in at 15. The Doors. I remember stealing my cousin's greatest hits Doors cassette tape in about 1980 or 81 when I was up in Michigan traveling. Sorry about that. The Doors. I mean, Morrison Hotel, L.A. Woman, Light My Fire, the presence, the vocals, the lyrics of Morrison, the great riffs by Robbie Krieger and piano and bass lines by Ray Manzarek. Just incredible band. Man, number 14. These are good bands here. Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. Just one song after the other. American Girl, Listen to Her Heart. I Need to Know. All the way through the 90s with the Wildflowers album and Last Dance with Mary Jane and You Wrecked Me and Honey Bee and It's Good to Be King. Just for a while to be there in Velvet. Such a good band. By the way, subscribe to my channel. We do shows every day. Blues Traveler coming in at lucky 13. Blues Traveler, so underrated. John Popper's voice is so unique. His harmonica playing is second to none. It cuts through any mix. His lyrics are funny and witty and smart, and they are a jam band. And their bass player, Billy Sheehan, was so underrated when he passed away. I think that they lost something there after those first 5 albums. But man, those first 5 albums are so good. They're still on the road. I'm going to see them this summer with Big Head Todd and the Monsters and the Kansas City Playboys. Okay. ZZ Top, that little band from Texas, LaGrange, Tush, Just Got Paid Today, got me a pocket full of change. One of my favorite songs, Billy Gibbons playing his Pearly Gates 1959 Les Paul. Just Dusty Hill, rest in peace. What a bass player, what a funky band. Their documentary is amazing. The drummer, Frank Beard, such a good band. Coming in at 11. Bob Seger in the Silver Bullet Band. You talk about a great, tight band. Don Brewer on drums after a while. He paid his dues. I mean, Traveling Band came out Traveling Band came out with like 68. Man, he worked those clubs. He worked those small venues until he finally got to the Hollywood Nights and made those night moves and did, old time rock and roll and Mean Street and Like a Rock. And those ballads, he was a master at ballads. He was a master songwriter. He gave songs to Kenny Rogers, gave songs to the Eagles, like Heartache Tonight, that he wrote with Glenn Frey. I can't tell you how great of a performer Bob Seger is from Detroit, Michigan. Great rock town. Man, coming in at 10, Boston. But just another band out of Boston. That first album, like Guns N' Roses' first album, Untouchable. Every song. Man, that whole first album. Don't Look Back, second album. Even Third Stage with Cool the Engines and Amanda. I dug it. Great band. Tom Scholz, Brad Delp's voice. Rest in peace, Brad. You Were Amazing, coming in at 9. All incarnations of the Doobie Brothers. Tom Johnston. Patrick Simmons. Just a phenomenal band. Then add Jeff Skunk Baxter. Add Michael McDonald from Ferguson, Missouri. Blue Eyed Soul with Minute by Minute and Taking It to the Streets. Prior to that, Blackwater, Long Train Running. Listen to the music, just amazing. Coming in at number 8, Journey. I like those first few albums where they're kind of a jazz fusion band with Greg Raleigh and Neil Sean, of course, on guitar, and Ross Valory and drums. But man, when they got Steve Perry, I love those 2 albums. Is it 2 albums where you have Perry and Greg Raleigh singing? Man. Yesterday was a good day. Yeah, today's gonna be a good day too. It's after midnight and I got you on my mind. Love it. Love Journey, love the guitars. Love Steve Smith when he joined on drums. Love them now with Arnel Pineda. Love Steve Perry's voice. He was able to sing all those ballads and rock his butt off. Those summer nights. I'm calling you Stone in Love. Coming in at 7, Fish. From Vermont, Burlington, Vermont, jam band, first album, Junta, Pictures of Nectar, Hoist, all those first several albums, Lawn Boy, all the way up to the stuff they do today. Of course, they're famous for being a great live band. Mike Gordon on bass, Paige McConnell on keyboards, Fishman on drums, and Trey Anastasio on guitar. One of the most underrated guitar players, one of the most underrated bands in the history of rock. They have so much material when it comes to live and studio that you can spend the rest of your life just peeling back layers and discovering new things from Fish. Check out Fish, incredible music. Aerosmith comes in at 6. Man, I've been on an Aerosmith bender lately, listening to Rocks, Toys in the Attic, all that stuff. It's just incredible. Mostly talking about their 70s album, Get Your Wings, Night at the Rots, the 80s stuff, 90s stuff. I don't need that. Coming in at 5, Santana. This video is getting long. By the way, subscribe to my channel if you like this content. We do shows every day. Santana. Check out my ranking of the Santana 70s album. Santana is just incredible. From the live album Moonflower to the live album Lotus to Abraxas to Caravanserai with Neil Sean on it. Greg Raleigh's vocals on Black Magic Woman. Oya Como Va. Europa, Everybody's Everything, just incredible. The Allman Brothers Band, all incarnations of the Allman Brothers Band. I would say the Dickie years, the Dwayne Allman years, especially live at the Fillmore East. The debut, Eat a Peach, of course. Then Dwayne dies, and with Brothers and Sisters, really Dickie's taking the control here. Ramblin' Man. Member Elizabeth Reed, Jessica, Whipping Post, incredible. The Allman Brothers of 4. At number 3, Steely Dan. Man. Yeah, you can say, is it really a band? Are they really a rock band? Because it's Walter Becker and Donald Fagen. Well, they were on those first 5 albums. Or certainly 3 or 4 albums with Denny Diaz and Jeff Skunk Baxter. David Palmer singing a few songs. I mean, Pretzel Logic, Katie Lied, Royal Scam's probably my favorite. Check out my ranking of those albums too. Coming in at 2, the mighty Van Halen, led by King Edward, my favorite guitar player of all time, I think. Check out my 50 favorite guitar players list on shows that we've already done. I just love Van Halen. When I was a kid, when I was 9 or 10 years old, and I found out who Eddie Van Halen was, I'm looking at a poster that I had in my bedroom when I was in 5th grade right here with Eddie with his red jumpsuit that he wore at the US Festival of 1983 with his Frankenstrat painted guitar, David Lee Roth jumping and doing the splits, Michael Anthony with his Jack Daniels bass, and his and brother Alex Van Halen on drums. Just incredible. The Sammy Hagar years I don't need as much, but they're good enough. And then David comes back for that final album. A Different Kind of Truth, which I love with Wolfgang Van Halen. Check out Wolfgang Van Halen's new album and his new singles. They're incredible. Wolfie, I love you. Van Halen, I love you. I just don't want this video to get so long because it is. The Grateful Dead is my favorite American rock band. Jerry Garcia and Eddie Van Halen are my 2 favorite musicians of all time, along with Miles Davis and Chick Corea, and Santana and Neil Young. And no, just every album. I mean, Mars Hotel, Live at Cornell 77, Europe 72, the Live Dead from 69 with Dark Star and St. Stephen's, American Beauty, Working Man's Dead, Um, just amazing, amazing. Phil Lesh is one of my favorite musicians of all time. That's my list. That's my top 25 American rock bands. Happy 4th of July. Peace out. See ya.